What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, to do a little testing on this really nice sunny day. I've gotten one done so far, and I've got a couple more on the agenda, and this one right here is some more 380. So I've got the jelly contraption at work out here with the radar and 2 blocks of gel out here. Now, I've only done one test so far in this block, but as you can see, one of them decided to pull a tumble-wumble on me, so it took up a good bit of space. I have got this flipped around though, so we're gonna have plenty of room to see what these do in this gel. Trust me, because these things, if you can say one thing about this stuff right here, it is absolutely predictable. So I'll have no problem getting you a good picture of what happens here. As you can see also, I am staying with my heavy clothing barrier that's got that layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. So what we're checking out this time is another round that was sent to me by the same person who sent me those Fiocchi 380 to test. They want to remain anonymous, so we're gonna keep it that way, but a big thanks again to them for sending this out. And as you can see, this time it's the Liberty Ammo Civil Defense in 380 auto. This is their 50 grain projectile. They're saying 1,500 feet per second out of this. Now, those of y'all not familiar with this Liberty Ammo for whatever reason, I've tested in pretty much all of the main calibers after this right here. Their whole deal is it's a very, very light round. It's a solid copper plated round that fragments all to pieces within about the first couple 3 inches, and then the little disc that remains, it travels out and it always hits exactly 12 inches in every single caliber I've tested so far. There you can see the projectile, plated case, and like I said, plated copper projectile. Really deep cavity there with some thin side walls that lets it break off. And what I'm going to test them out of are a couple of different barrel lengths here. For the shorty, this is a very popular carry option, so I'm always going to include this LCP Max in my testing. This has got basically a 2 3/4 inch barrel. I believe they technically call it 2.8 inch barrel. Now on this one, I have switched it to the M-Carbo trigger and spring kit. For those y'all out there who have a LCP Max, or I think it even fits the regular LCPs, coming from somebody who is not the biggest fan of this thing, I cannot recommend that enough. And then for the longer option here, I've got my M&P Performance Center Shield EZ in 380. Now this one, they call it I believe they call it a 3.8 inch barrel, so it's exactly 1 inch longer than this according to the specs, but about a 1/4 inch of that is nothing but a port at the end, so technically it's an inch longer than this LCP Max at 3.8. So this will be another good 380 test to get in the books and get some info on. Again, I can pretty much write the script for what's going to happen here. These things, if nothing else, again, they are incredibly predictable and incredibly consistent. It's going to go in here and fragment for about 2 or 3 inches, and then that disc is going to keep on traveling to exactly 12 inches. There's no doubt in my mind, but let me get this stuff set up and let's check them out. All right, let's see how fast we can get these moving. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with the LCP Max first. Now, these are 50 grainers. If y'all aren't familiar with this lab radar, you're going to get multiple readings. Your big numbers, your muzzle velocity, you'll get 5 additional across the bottom. One of them set for 3 yards, which is basically where the gel is going to be. And then you've got 10, 15, 25, and 50. Now with these really light projectiles, I don't know, we may have some trouble getting out far, but we'll see what we get. Remember, the box said 1,500. Now one thing about this Liberty Ammo is I've noticed in the past, they are right there at the speeds, even with the shorter barrels. So I don't expect to see it on this, but I do expect to see it and probably exceed it out of that EZ. But let's see how close we get on this Max, y'all. 1437, so right there at that 1,500. 1425, 1459, 1431, and 1456. That was all 5 of them, so not far off from that 1,500, which is pretty nice to come out of this little LCP. Let's check the average. All right, so our 5-round average coming out of this LCP is 1,442 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 34 and a standard deviation of 15. So let me get this thing reset and let's check it out with the EZ. All right, let's see what the extra inch of barrel length from the EZ does for it, y'all. We're definitely gonna hit that 1,500. I can just tell you now, just because of the extra length and because of what we're running it out of this time. It's just the way it is. Well, let's see what we get here. 1539, 1596, 1540, 1544, And 1567, so proved me a little bit wrong on the consistency there, and we didn't get a 50 on one of them. Let's check out what that average is. All right, y'all, it made me look like a big dummy out here is what it just did. As far as the average, I figured that average is 1557, so plenty above the 1500 on the box. The problem was we had a really high shot on this one. It was 1596 for the high with the low of 1539. All the rest of them were in the 40, 60 range, I believe. So that 1596 really threw the extreme spread off. It ended up 57 with a standard deviation of 24.6. So I don't know what that high was all about. Again, usually this Liberty ammo is really consistent from what I remember. Maybe I'm getting mixed up in my head, but at any rate, I can tell you exactly what these things are going to do. I know I ain't wrong there. They're going to go in here, fragment all the pieces 2 to 3 inches and travel to 12 inches. But let me get this reset and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it says what it does and does what it says, jelly time. I'm gonna put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this max first. Again, I can write the script and tell you what this stuff's gonna do. I'll be incredibly surprised if it doesn't do what I said and what we've seen every time. All right, that should have been a perfect placement right there. Let me go see what we got. All right, absolutely perfect on that one and exactly what I expected. So let's put one from the EZ. I'm sure we're gonna see about the same. Hopefully this ends up where y'all can see it good. This should be all right. All right, that should have been perfect. It might have came out the side. Let me go check. All right, y'all, false alarm on that one. It actually ended up in a perfect spot. It just gets so shiny over there from the glare, it almost tricks me and makes me think it popped out the side. But LCP Max in the back right there, a bunch of fragmentation. You see that energy dump right there within the first 3-4 inches, 2-3-4 inches right there. Now, something interesting I want to show y'all here. When I pulled the cloth off the front there, this fell out from between the denim and the t-shirt layers. That's a fragment off of that round. So that right there, y'all, I've talked about in the past how, you know, I'm funny about these things for whatever the reason. That right there makes me even feel even funnier about these things because, I mean, that got stopped. It fragmented into cloth and got stopped by just a few layers of cloth. You know, take that for what you will. Not that it means a bunch. But anyway, LCP Max in the back, a lot of fragmentation as usual, carries on through here. You can see it stops right about there. Looks like nothing but the disc left, of course. I don't think there's any pedals left on it. We'll check it out and look. I've never seen one left with anything except that disc. So looks like it's about, might be a little bit over 12. That one might be 12 and a half, 13 or so. This one right here might be a little bit over also. So we'll go on to that one in the front. That's the one out of the EZ. Basically the same exact story here. It doesn't look much different at all. If anything, the LCP Max has got a little bit more disruption from this particular angle, but they're basically the same deal. A bunch of fragmentation right there within about, you know, 2 to 3-4 inches right there. And again, keeps on trucking through the block here. And there you see the projectile. That one looks like it's about an inch further than the one out of the LCP Max. But let's find out just how far they did go. This one from the LCP Max is exactly 12 and a half inches. So again, it almost every single time hits that 12-inch mark. And then the one out of the EZ, it's actually at 13 and a half. So it got an extra inch of penetration there. So I'd like to see a little more, but that's just me. For most people, this is absolutely perfect. The only issue I have is, you know, if these things were to run up against something tough they'd have to get through, what would that little bit of weight do? So here's your closer look at things. Again, in the front, the EZ, in the back, the LCP Max. You can see it does exactly what it does every time. Tons of fragmentation, carries on through here. And then there you see what's left of it. I'm pretty sure that's just that disc. I don't think there's anything else with it. And then a little closer look on the back side here, that's the LCP Max. And then in the background, that's gonna be the EZ from this direction. So LCP Max, you can see, again, tons of fragmentation, keeps on trucking through here. And then there you see the projectile. Maybe, I don't know, we'll pull it here and check it out, but that looks like it might have a little something extra besides just the disc on it. All right, let's check out what we got left of these projectiles here. So pretty much what you see every single time. There was nothing extra, it's just the bubbles and the disruption in the gel, kind of optical illusion there. They look basically exactly the same. This one's from the EZ, this one's from the Max. Now if I kind of drag my fingers across like that, I can feel a little bit more ridge from this LCP Max, like there's a little more material left. But other than that, they look exactly the same. The disc keeps on going and the rest of it just breaks off at the beginning like you always see. But let's get us a few measurements on them. We'll start with the weight. They both started at 50. This one from the EZ is at 40.2 grains. This one from the LCP Max is at 40.6 grains. So basically the same there. Looks like both of them lost right at 10 grains, or about a fifth of their weight. And then as far as the sizes on them, as far as the diameter, on this one you got 355 and 355 again. And then you got a thickness here of 217. This one here out of the EZ, 355, 354, and then a thickness here of 217. And there we go again with the Liberty Ammo Civil Defense, this time in 380. Again, if nothing else, you have to say that these things are very consistent and very predictable in the gel there. They do the same thing each and every single time, no matter really what barrel length I've run them out of and what caliber I've run them out of. That being said, y'all probably know how I personally feel about these. I don't dislike them by any means. I think they do exactly what they say they do, and I think they hit the parameters. I just don't know how I feel about just that little bit of weight that carries forward. I mean, 40 grains, you're talking about, I mean, that's down to 22 mag weight and velocity, really. Not only that, but this little piece that got caught, that shows you right there that those fragments, I mean, once it starts breaking apart like that, those fragments definitely are not carrying a lot of energy. So how much is that really doing for you? So I'm just personally not sure about this type of round, but let me know down in the comments what y'all think about them. All right, y'all, that's another 380 round in the books, and another one that did just exactly what it claimed to do. These civil defense are definitely some of the easiest rounds to predict what kind of performance you're gonna see in the gel. I'm pretty sure that I've never seen any caliber of these rounds that didn't do exactly what they claim to do. They go in, they get that disruption from 2, 3, 4 inches right there, all that fragmentation, and then that core travels to 12 inches every single time. So whether you like what you see out of the performance that these give you or not, you have to admit that they do what they claim, and they do it every single time without fail. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about these out here today. What do you think about them in 380, and just in general, how do you feel about the performance from these civil defense loads? If you enjoyed the video, take a second and reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you've got them notifications turned on so hopefully you don't miss anything when I upload it. If you're doing some shopping, again, check out those affiliate links I got in the video description. I've got all the major links down there now in some place or another, so check those out. Anything you buy after going through those links, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Once again, a big thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got a couple more interesting tests planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for those. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.